In 2020, Sarah Boone called 911, claiming her boyfriend Jose Torres died in a bizarre accident. Sarah said they had been drinking and playing a game of hide and seek when Jose ended up zipped inside a suitcase. But this accident quickly turned into a case of suspicion. The police discovered shocking video evidence that made investigators question Sarah's story and whether Jose's death was truly accidental. Was this truly an accident, or was there something more sinister behind Jose's death? Welcome back, everybody, to True Crime Desk. I'm Richard. Today we're going to go over a fascinating case. It is to me anyway. It's the Sarah Boone case, which just ended about 3 days ago, and she hasn't been sentenced yet. But I wanted to get on here and I wanted to talk about it because, like I said, it's a very fascinating case. Her behavior was very unique. Things in the trial happened. Things happened in the trial that I'd never seen before. So I definitely wanted to go over that. I definitely wanted to talk about it. So if you're not familiar with the case, I'm going to go over a brief history of who she is and the story in general, and then we'll discuss the rest of it. Now, Sarah Boone, she was 42 years old and she was born in Florida. And she was known by everybody to have a troubled relationship with Jose Torres Jr. And Sarah's background was relatively quiet, and she had no major criminal record. But her relationship, as I said earlier, with Jose was marked by arguments, and both had a history of domestic violence. Now, as you're going to see as we go further, she's going to use that in her court case. Not originally, but she's going to use that domestic violence background that they both had, because it wasn't just him, it was her. And like I said, from everything I've heard and read, her neighbors were well aware of their arguments, and they had kind of an explosive relationship. So it was very unique. This whole case is unique. That's why I wanted to do it. So we'll discuss a little bit more now. Now, Sarah called 911 and she reported her boyfriend, Jose Torres. She said he was dead, and she claimed that they were playing hide and seek, and that Jose was stuck inside of a suitcase, that's strange as it is. For a grown-up to be playing hide and seek and then him to be in a suitcase, just the two of them, that doesn't make any sense. According to Sarah, they had been drinking and having fun before things went wrong, and she said she fell asleep, and when she woke up, that he was still in the suitcase and he was unresponsive.
The problem is that I fell asleep. When did you do CPR? This morning, when I found it before you called. Yes. 1 o'clock right now. I tried. I was awake, but I actually got out of the bed at like 12:30ish, whatever. So I came downstairs, and I was like, oh, he's in the suitcase still. That's when I found him, and I took him out, and I tried doing CPR, and then I called him, and then I called you guys.
Now, that's pretty much the story she told police when they showed up, that they were playing hide and seek, which doesn't make any sense, because you're playing hide and seek. You don't know where the person is. And she later told him that she came downstairs. He was starting to get it, because originally what she had said that they were playing a bunch of different games. She would treat him like a child, it sounded like. She was like trying to keep him entertained and stuff, trying to give him, crafts and stuff to do. It's really strange. But like I said, this whole case is that way. And then at some point, she said that he tagged her and said, "You're it." So then she decides to take off and run upstairs and hide in the shower so he couldn't find her. But that doesn't make any sense at all, because if he tagged you and said, "You're it," then that means you're got to find him. I mean, that's the way we did it. That's the way I did it. So anyway, she said that she went upstairs and she hid in the shower for a while, and he didn't come find her. So she decided to go downstairs. She goes downstairs and see that he's starting to get into a suitcase, but she can tell he's getting in there. So he's trying to pull the lid down, and she helps him get in there and zips it. But once again, hide and seek. You know where he is. That's not how the game works. And you're two grown-ups. I mean, come on. And so that's like trick-or-treating when you're like 30 years old. I mean, you don't do that. I mean, you shouldn't. But so anyway, that's what she said happened. And then, he was in there for a while, and she thought he was this boy crying wolf, I guess she said, when he was saying he wanted out. She did that for a while, and then she went upstairs, thought he would eventually get out and come find her, and she fell asleep. When she woke up, he was still in it. That's what her initial story was. So none of it makes any sense. That's what you said there in interrogation. That's why this case is fascinating, because, I mean, hide and seek is two grown-ups. But it didn't make any sense, obviously. So when the police, they treated it as a possible accident at first, but then as things started to change, as they started to find more evidence. And what they did is they found a video on her phone of her sitting there on the couch talking to him. And she was saying really nasty things to him as he was struggling to breathe inside the suitcase. And she was laughing and cussing at him and saying, "This is what you get when you cheat on me," and a bunch of stuff. And the craziest thing is she didn't remember recording this. She was so drunk that she didn't remember this was even on her phone. And like I said, fascinating.
Sarah.
For everything you've done to me.
Sarah.
For everything you've done to me.
Sarah.
You.
Sarah.
You.
Sarah.
Stupid.
Sarah.
That's my name. Don't wear it up.
Sarah. I can't breathe, babe. Seriously.
Yeah, that's when you do when you choke me.
Sarah. 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 Sarah, I can't breathe, babe.
That's on you.
Sarah, I can't breathe.
That's on you.
Sarah.
Real or ransom. Might want to get video for it extra. Because I got this.
Sarah.
Real or ransom.
Sarah. Sarah, I can't breathe, babe.
Oh. That's what I feel like when you drink on me.
Sarah.
You.
Breathe, Sarah.
Yeah. You should probably shut the up.
Sarah.
Now, after they did the autopsy on Jose, his cause of death was asphyxiation. So, in other words, he couldn't breathe. And he had injuries consisting of being trapped and trying to escape. And the Sarah's story, a playful game that didn't make any sense, as we said earlier. And there was also evidence that she had hit him. She said that she didn't say that at first, but they found bruises and stuff on his arms and stuff like that. And during the trial, she admitted that he had his hand out and she didn't want his hand to be out. So she went over and tapped it with a bat. That's her words, not mine. She tapped it. But she didn't tap it, she hit it. She hit his hand so he would put it back inside. So that's brutal. Now, when she eventually went to court, she pled not guilty, of course, and she had a lot of drama in the trial as it is, because this finally happened. This was 4 years ago. This was in 2020. And she kept having different attorneys. She had multiple attorneys. I think she fired some, and a whole bunch of them quit. There was at one point that she was going to represent herself, and that's what they thought. And that would have really been something to watch, that's for sure. So it was pretty crazy all the way around, as far as the way she acted and everything. And like I said, we thought that she was going to represent herself. And even during the trial, when the judge would talk to her, when she finally got her attorneys who were representing her, she every time something would happen or there was anything, the judge would ask her, you okay with this? Are you good with that? He wanted to make sure that everything was on the up and up, because he knew that she was going to claim all kinds of stuff. So it was really strange. I've never seen it before. This particular judge was extremely respectful in any way. Someone sneezed and he said, "God bless you," and stuff like that. So he was a really good judge. But he would always ask her, "You good with this? Are you okay with that? Did they discuss this?" And she actually got on the stand as well, which once again was fascinating. Now, of course, when this got out into the media, people were outraged, of course, when they saw that video. It was infuriating to people that someone could do that to somebody else. So she had a tough haul, as they'd say, to get an impartial jury and all that stuff. But it's crazy because it took 4 years to get all this stuff going with her, not wanting attorneys, this and that. But when it came right down to it and they decided the trial finally started, the trial was only 10 days. It was really quick. One of the fastest ones I've ever seen. Everything went really fast. I mean, she was on the stand. She was only there the one day. It was just like... So after it got started, it went really fast. And part of the reason the trial took so long to get started is they had that C-19, that crap went around the whole world. And her defense claimed that the death was accidental and that she didn't mean to harm Jose at all. And she tried to argue that she was terrified and because the alcohol, and she claimed that he used to abuse her in the past, and so she was using the battered spouse syndrome basically. But with the evidence of the autopsy and all the stuff and injuries on his body, that the jury didn't buy that, as you'll see. So as of just a couple days ago, after her being in jail for 4 years, she was arrested 4 years ago. She was found guilty in the death of Jose Torres. After the trial, like I said, it was only 10 days. And they handed down their verdict on Friday, this last Friday, on October 27, 2024. And they deliberated for 90 minutes, that's all. So she was found guilty of second-degree M. But we don't know what the sentence is going to be yet because they haven't done that. They decided they're going to do some evaluations. Now, they obviously didn't believe that it was a drunken mistake, as she said. What I do is I really wonder what the jury, how they reacted the first time they saw that video, because I remember how I felt. Now, Judge Michael Krenick, he ordered a pre-sentencing investigation before her sentencing, and that's scheduled for December 2nd at 1:30 p.m., and she faces life in prison, as I said. So that's where we're at this point. So that pretty much gets us to where we're at. That's pretty much the case in gist. I mean, that's just an overview. Obviously, there's a lot of strange things that happen in there, like I said, with her attorneys. I mean, I don't know if you guys watched any of the whole trial. But just to get to the trial itself was really something. It took forever. She was in jail for 4 years. So this is back in 2020, and with the C-19 all over the place, as I mentioned earlier, that slowed a lot of things down. And then she was acting kind of strange, and like I said, she argued with her attorneys. They had hearing after hearing. She fired attorneys. They quit. And the judge, I personally thought she was going to defend herself. And that's what I thought was going to happen. And she finally settled on a couple of attorneys, and her attorney was actually pretty good. I think he did a good job. But when she got on the stand, that's where it really got interesting. She decided that, she was going to go with the battered syndrome, that she was battered and that he was mean to her. Now, they showed evidence. There was definitely evidence that he had beat her and that he was mean to her. That's for sure. The picture they showed, she had a black eye. They had a recording. They had a recording where he was being aggressive towards her, and he actually had that bat in his hand that she had hit him with while he was in the suitcase, and that he came towards her aggressively. So there's no doubt in my mind, that she was abused and he was mean to her. But that doesn't justify the fact that when he was locked in that suitcase, even if she was afraid, and she said she was afraid and that she the only time she can actually confront him, I get all that. But if that's the case, then you can call the police or you can get out of there. But that's not what she did in that video. That's not what she did. She sat there and berated him and was mean to him, and he was suffering and saying, Sarah, 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 But that's just makes this case fascinating. So it's a very, very interesting case. But with all that being said, I mean, it's like, I think they eventually came to the right conclusion in my opinion. I think she's guilty. I mean, like I said, the battered syndrome, I definitely believe that happened. But you don't have the right to do that to somebody. That's pretty cold. I mean, I still wondered, he must have put himself in there. I mean, what do you think? Did he initially put him? He'd have to initially put himself in there. There's no way she could have forced him in there. I mean, he was a little guy, but still, they're both really small. She's gained weight now. She's like more, I guess you'd say, normal size. She was pretty skinny before. Whatever that is, normal. But yeah, he had to have gone in there. He had to get inside on his own initially, and then, like she said that he did, and then she came by and zipped it. But he must have really been out of it, because why would you do that? Why would you even do that as a joke? I mean, you're really putting a lot of trust in that other person that lets you out. And as you can see, he trusted the wrong person. But, then again, drinking when you're not thinking straight. I mean, I don't drink. I mean, I personally don't drink. I like to be in my right mind. I don't like being when you drink, in my opinion, you put yourself in a vulnerable position, so I personally don't. But yeah, that's not the first time or the last time people that have been drinking do some really weird stuff. Now, as far as the hide and seek thing goes, we know that that's all BS. I mean, hide and seek, you don't play hide and seek like that when someone tags you. I mean, you don't play tag and hide and seek anyway, I don't think. I mean, one person is it, but I don't think you tag them and say they're it. They're just it. And then you run around. Then you run around and you try to find them. But I don't know. Tag is where you say you're it. So the two don't make any sense. But the two grown ups that makes even less sense. And like Halloween is coming up this Thursday. Is like I said, you'd be like a 30-year-old out there, going door to door and stuff. That doesn't work. I guess you can try it, but I don't think it's going to go too well for you. But anyway, so that doesn't make any sense to me because, like I said, if you tagged her, it said she's it, but then that means that she would have to find him, but that's not the way the game works. And then her falling asleep, and she told the police that she didn't intend to fall asleep, and that wasn't the point, and that she thought he could get out. But then later on the stand, she says that his hand was getting out, and she smacked or she touched it with the bat. She didn't want him to get out, so now she doesn't want him to get out, and she can see that when she hit or tapped his hand, when she hit it, and got it zipped back up again, that he clearly couldn't get out. So it doesn't make any sense with her saying why I knew he was going to get out and come back upstairs with us, upstairs with me and go to sleep. So none of it makes any sense. So I think the jury got it right in all that rambling of mine. I think the jury got it right. It's a very fascinating case. But I'm definitely interested in what you guys think on this one. I mean, did you watch it? I mean, did you not watch it? I mean, what do you think? You think she's guilty? You think she's innocent? I mean, what about the hide and seek defense? I mean, that's something else. So I don't know if she came up with that on the fly or what, but that was pretty lame. And it took a long time. 4 years is a long time. I felt bad for his family, but I think they're finally going to get justice. I think it's 22 to life for a possibility of what you can get. So we'll see what happens, and we'll do a follow-up on this, I think. Maybe on a community post or something. I might put it up there when she finally gets sentenced. So we'll have to see what it is. I think she's going to get the middle ground, I think. I don't know if she'll get the max, but definitely fascinating. So I think that's all I have. It's just a case I wanted to do. It's been all over the place, and I think the jury got right, as I said. So let me know what you think. So that's going to do it for this case. Hopefully you got something out of it. If you did, I appreciate the thumbs up and like and all that good stuff. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. That would help. Trying to get better at this, trying to get this channel to grow. And I appreciate all the people that have subscribed. That definitely gives me encouragement to keep going. And so with all that being said, until next time, stay safe, stay curious, and remember to always mind your surroundings. Bye.